Welcome back. You're still watching Afternoon Express right here on SABC3, and we are live. My next guest has a very, very interesting story. After being moved by the story of a baby rhino that was abandoned by its mother, young Hunter Mitchell took it upon himself to try and help. He started a fund for the little guy, and since the beginning of January, he has raised more than 10,000 rands from both local and international donors. We're joined now by Hunter Mitchell as well as Searle Durman, the owner of the game reserve where the little rhino was born. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome, Hunter. I understand now it's more than 10,000 rand. It's grown to 18.
Yes.
Congratulations. Now, before we get into the money and how you raised it, when did you first hear about this little baby rhino?
Well, on Facebook, my mum told me that there was a baby rhino at Aquila that was abandoned by its mother.
Mm. And that was it, just on Facebook?
Yes, I heard the news on Aquila page.
All right. Now let's talk about, Searle, this baby rhino and the story behind it being abandoned by its mother. Is it something that usually happens, in nature?
We've experienced a lot. This happen often, but with other species. It's the first time we've experienced it actually with a rhino. It does happen often in nature for many different reasons. But as I say, it's the first time it's happened with rhino to us.
Yeah. Now, Hunter, what I want to know is how you got, local and international donors to help you to raise this money, and why you felt it was so important for you to do that.
Well, I looked at pictures of him and I thought he was very cute, and I really wanted to help him. So I started with my pocket money, some of my pocket money, and then I asked some friends at school and some friends and family in overseas.
Yeah, and how old are you?
8.
You're only 8, and you've raised 18,000 rand. Now, so how much, does it take to raise a rhino for it to live a comfortable, happy life?
First of all, he's done a fantastic job. I mean, it came out of nowhere. It wasn't solicited. We've got many different causes that we've been involved in that have literally won us the most prestigious social upliftment and conservation awards in the country, like the Lily Zela presented by the Minister of Tourism. And from all our different efforts, I mean, it's been a remarkable effort that he's done. It costs a fortune to raise rhino, just in general, given the poaching. In 2011, we had a very serious poaching incident at Aquila Game Reserve. 3 of our rhino were poached. We managed to save 1, 2 were lost, and the whole world watched. It was a rhino suffering for its life, fighting for its life for 6 days on international and local television with millions of hits, and it was traumatic. It was traumatic. So since then, for every game reserve, it costs a fortune for private game reserves that haven't got the military to assist them to look after their rhinos. So starting with security, I mean, we could literally buy a rhino at 400,000 rand every 2-3 months. So that's the first thing. And now, of course, with the baby rhino that's now going to be growing up, hand-reared initially, and we're going to get a surrogate mother for our rhino, and that's also, I mean, rhinos are very expensive. And then to feed the rhino in that sort of environment, they eat a lot more than a horse. And there's a lot of other things that we've learned now, like moisturizers and suntan lotion and veterinary surgeons and a lot of food and a lot of milk. I mean, if you think about a baby, multiply it by 100 kilos. So yeah. It's been very expensive. Obviously, the security being the most now that we've got to split resources and stuff like that. So it's very, very expensive.
Now let's talk about, the poaching. I mean, it's really shook South Africa. And you were talking about an incident in 2011. Tell me where we are in terms of, that right now and what you think South Africans should be doing.
Do you know, Aquila Private Game Reserve has a cause called savingprivaterhino.org. As I mentioned, the military and the Defence Force help the national reserves, and the crime doesn't stop, so it spreads to local reserves. Now, I think it was a terrible day last month when they legalized the sale of rhino horn. It's going to open so many doors for the poachers. So this month we've had a little bit of a decrease in rhino poachings, but I can promise you it's only because a lot of the poachers, I mean, a lot of the poachers are too busy selling what they got. It's going to cause an unquenchable sort of demand. And they're going to be very, very negative scenarios from it. So if you ask me, very little is getting reported because there have been a lot of accusations on farmers that actually kill their own rhino and sell the horn. Of government departments that have got influence or and stuff like that. So a lot of it's not being reported. It's opened a lot of loopholes. So I think it's going to get a lot worse, and I'm going on record with that.
Yeah. So how do we donate towards you, towards Hunters, fund? What are the steps that we need to take? Where can we find this incredible
Hunters got some very interesting initiatives, and it's been so well received. I think he's a champion ambassador. We've, first of all, when it comes to donating, do your homework.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on one of the TV shows recently that there are 300 causes protecting rhino, and of that, if 10% are credible, it's a lot. Start with, at our organization, I mean, I don't drive a car sponsored by the organization. My petrol's paid for by myself. In fact, they probably owe me, not owe me nothing, but we probably donated at least $1 million or $2 million. We spent a fortune catching the people who did our rhino. Easy $500,000 to $1 million rand on forensics teams and everything else.
Yeah.
And we've been very instrumental. I mean, we've got proper credibility. We did an arrest with 30 million rand of ivory.
Incredible work. Incredible
and
work.
100 elephant plus died for that in shark fin and everything, as well as a baby rhino horn in Cape Town that we led to the arrest of that. We operate nationally, of course, and it was covered in blood. The horn must have been this size, which is another reason that we have to have 24 hours
surveillance
security on the rhino and stuff, because that's attractive to a poacher. So to answer your question, whether it's equipment, volunteering is difficult. We're looking at a volunteer scheme now, but you have to sort of pre-polygraph everyone and check them. But equipment or anything, you're welcome to check out our website on akilasafari.com or on Arcade Safari, or our Facebook sites, of course.
Well, Phil, thank you very, very much. Hunter, can I get a high five? You're doing a good job. Look at you. You're the coolest 10-year-old right now in the country. Thank you very much for coming through. Of course, if you want to donate, you can catch all that information, if you missed it, on our website as well, afternoonexpress.co.za. And hopefully Hunter here has inspired a lot more of you who are watching to do good.
How you doing, YouTube fam? Thank you so much for watching, sharing and commenting. We love hearing from you, so be sure to keep up to date with all things Afternoon Express by clicking the subscribe button right here.